Just did a great articulate 7 minutes that I wasn't recording. That's, that's life. I want to talk about what is called the reincarnation trap by some. And the idea of this is when you die, or when you experience what is called death, which isn't death as it's been presented to us. There is no death for you. There is no end for you. Your energy. You can be moved around, but you can't be ended. There is. You've always been here. You always will be here. That's a whole nother story, though. But I've done some videos on this before in the past. So as far as I'm concerned, it's settled science. But just for the sake of adding some new things that I thought about as I've been seeing more of these kind of videos recently. I've had friends that have done them too. And I think there's a few things that I could add to it that haven't been brought up or mentioned. The basic idea, if you don't know, is that when you die or you pass on, move on to the next phase, you are beckoned into a white light. Sometimes there's family members, sometimes there's people you know beckoning you in there. And then when you get in there, they show you a greatest hits reel of all the fucked up things you've done. And then they offer you a chance to go back to fix that. Now that's completely retarded, because when you do come back and when you come into here, you don't have your memories. You start off with a clean slate, so there's really no way to atone for some of that stuff, because when you come back again, how the fuck do you know what you did wrong, and how are you going to fix it this time? Now some cultures believe there is a way to work off this karmic debt, but I would say you would work it off unknowingly, right? And then probably accrue just as many bad points as well, and then have to go back. This seems like a trap, and that's why it's referred to often as a life trap, a reincarnation trap. Now what I've heard and picked up over the years is, and this is consistent with a lot of NDEs, is that when you've kind of passed over, when you're out of this third dimension, perhaps I don't know exactly where you are, but you're outside of it, as the fourth dimension is really just a sort of travel dimension. I believe we originate from the fifth, and the way this works is almost like a movie projector. Like we originate from the fifth. The largest part of us is there, and we are projected onto this sort of screen, and projected via frequency, like a radio station. These bodies being like antennas to receive the information, okay? That's just my opinion, what I've heard, what I've come across, yada, yada, yada. Couch. There appears when you move out of this area, a lot of people find themselves on like a checkerboard. It's been described to me by friends, close friends that have had this experience, that it's almost like a computer kind of Tron kind of checkerboard, almost like just green and black, like a early 80s kind of checkerboard. And within this checkerboard, there are holes in some of the squares. And what you can do, I guess, from what I understand, is you can go out through the holes. When you're on this checkerboard and you're being, beckoned by the white light, and sometimes people find themselves on this checkerboard and they're not faced with the white light. They have like maybe a presence with them, and they talk to them. But what you can do, from what I understand, is you can feel around on the ground, even though you don't have a body. You can still feel things when you're in this state, when you're your natural energy state. You could just, like, say I wanted to touch this tree. I could just feel the tree. It would just not come to me, and I wouldn't move to it, because traveling distances doesn't work the same way, apparently. But things just happen with your mind, with your thoughts. Here in this realm, in the 3D, we have these appendages to approximate the kind of, to have a tactile experience here with the stuff around us that is sort of like a, you know, their way of filling in for that space, for that thing you have where you can just grab things with your mind and be around things with your mind. If that makes any sense, I don't know. But anyway, this checkerboard apparently has holes in it. Some of the squares have nothing in them. And if you feel around on the ground, they said you won't be able to see it, or perhaps it's dark at this point, especially when you imagine when you get this light coming straight out, you know, this tunnel of light. They say feel around on the ground. And when you find a hole, go out of the hole. Go through it. Just will yourself to move through it. And from where you go from there is debatable. I've heard people just say you go anywhere you want, whatever that means. Perhaps it's a return back to the fifth dimension, where you're from. I don't know. But that's just what I've heard that I haven't seen anyone mention. I would say I'm with the people who say don't go into that light. It's kind of hard because I'm sure it's a you know, it's a disorientating experience when you have a situation where you leave the body. I used to believe it was something instantaneous where, and I still believe it is in this respect, that in one moment you're in the body, the next moment you're maybe looking at your body. But at some point, you'll begin to regain memory of why this process is here and what's going on. But it's a process, you know, the regaining an idea of what you are and what's really going on is a process. It's not instantaneous. At least I think there's more of a process than I originally thought, just from picking up stuff over the years. But I think that a thing to do would be maybe to, if you have your wits about you, and maybe this is something you can train yourself to do, or just think about it. I think someone else told me once that even just being aware of this is half the battle. And I've often said when it comes to occult, esoteric knowledge, metaphysical stuff, that being aware of things isn't half the battle. It's like 100% of the battle a lot of times in cases, because sometimes just by knowing that there's a trick or that there's a hidden mechanism, there's an assistant handing the magician a rabbit under his cape, when he pulls it out of his hat, it doesn't work on you. So sometimes knowing is the whole battle, you know, or at least that's what I believe. So I think stalling isn't a bad idea. Like when they're all calling you in there, come on in, come on in. You know, if you have your wits about you in any way, just be like, yeah, give me a minute. You know, give me a minute. See what the response is. If they become persistent and insistent, it should probably tell you something. You know, it should probably tell you that you should be wary of that. And maybe start feeling around the floor, or what is, or what would constitute the floor, you know. And there you will find an empty square that you'll be able to get out with. Now, this is that lady naked? I think she's kind of tapped. She's walking around talking to herself, but I don't think she has a shirt on. I think she took her shirt off. She's naked from the top up. Interesting. But the, yeah, I guess I just wanted to add that part. And the thing about the checkerboard floor is it always makes me think of Freemasonry. How they have a checkerboard floor, and then they have the two columns. Now, the two columns mean a lot of different things, but when you look at it, it's almost like it's approximating the tunnel, right? the checkerboard floor there. Is that what they're putting forward? I don't know. Maybe. It's interesting though. But yeah, as far as what my plan is basically that. See how it goes when I get there. Kind of try to feel that situation out as much as I can. Or maybe just start running your non-hands across the floor, your energy hands, and just try getting out of there. Because after that, you can go anywhere, from what I've been told, whatever that means. Now, could that include up to bringing you back to your fifth dimensional home? Hopefully. I mean, that's what you want to do. Because you don't want to be tricked into coming back here, because your energy is just being used, is just being sucked off you. And it's going to some real assholes. It's going to some real assholes who used to be good guys. But for some reason, they followed the music teacher. I mean, really? Nothing against music teachers, but, not natural born leaders, really. Unless it's a band. But, yeah, he must be one charismatic music teacher, though, because he got a third of the faculty to go with him in this endeavor of, instead of maintaining a nice learning, nurturing place here for the child of the divine, us being the child, split into all these different points of attention, expressing themselves as individuals. The idea that instead of making a place where they can learn about divinity, we're going to instead suck their energy and then use it to enrich ourselves here in this material realm. Because, material is just hardened energy. This guy, the child of the divine here, is like an ever-ready battery times 10,000. We could live like kings and queens, even better than the Most High. This is probably his kind of pitch, experiencing all the pleasures of the flesh, things that we wouldn't get to experience with servitude in heaven. Here we can be masters and rulers of this material domain. We just flip the script and turn this school into a farm and suck the loosh off this kid. So yeah, I don't think it's a place you want to keep coming back to. And the whole idea that you can come back and work off some kind of karmic debt is ridiculous, because when you come here, you don't have your memory. And that's indeed what apparently they do. They wipe your memory before they send you back. So what the fuck good is that? Yeah, you could work off some of the debt, but it would be incidental. It would be by accident. You'd probably accrue more debt. And I think that's the idea. They just keep you trapped here. So they guilt you into coming back, showing you all the people you hurt. Like, how do you know you're hurting people? You can do things that you would never do with the intention of hurting anyone. And people are sensitive and weird. I've been affected by things that I'm certain people didn't intend to have affect me at all. So I mean, that's a fucking no-win situation. So yeah, I'm on team get the fuck out of here. If we don't, but I think something's going to happen before a lot of us are even faced with this. We're going to get out of here a different way. But either way, we're getting out. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.